So here we go. I was asked by a community member, and you guys can pipe up and chat. We can still chat and do everything else. It doesn't need to be like, oh, Candace is recording, we can't talk, okay? So I wanted to talk about brushes because I was asked about brushes. So Jimbo, you were asking me specifically how I did my blending, right? So here is more of like a painterly style I've done, and so the video that just went live uh, on YouTube is this video. So if you guys haven't watched it already, I would absolutely love it if you can give it a like and a follow and all that good stuff. I don't know anything about brushes. Okay, so I'm using Procreate, but this can be used in any sense, right? It can be used in any platform, right? So it doesn't have to just be this program. So let me start up a new image and we'll talk about these things. So here's our canvas. Yeah, I mean, you can use Photoshop. You can use, there's some other free programs as well. I use Photoshop, yes. So I personally like to change the color of my background just so that I can see what I'm visually doing. And then from there, so I'm gonna talk about the brushes that I like to use a lot. So I've got a section for all of my favorites. Oh, geez, you guys can't see it. Hold on, let me move my iPad over. Here we go. So this Maxwell water one is literally a watercolor brush, and I've purchased this. So it gives you like this really good water brush. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. Do you see how beautiful this brush is? And literally when you put it on top of each other, you get this like really beautiful effect. I absolutely love this brush. But and this gouache brush is another one to use that's beautiful, and it's free with the program. So this brush I really like to use when I'm doing blending and highlights and things like that. Yeah, it's really cool, right? And I think it's only specifically for Procreate though, so do keep that in mind. So in the brush library under calligraphy, I do believe. Yeah, so these are the brushes that I generally like to use when I want to get a nice crisp line. Hey Spazzy, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well today. So I like to use this monoline or even the brush pen. One of these would be really good. So, excuse me, this is the one I like to use. And if we make it bigger, so it just makes everything really nice and crisp and keep the line easy for moving around. So this is generally the brush that I like to use. I'll just move my paper over like this so you guys can see what I'm doing. How was your nap? Hey, Hobbs! Can we get a shout out for Hobbs? Guys, if you like Hearthstone, you're gonna love him, and I know him in IRL. Dollar Yen, are you still here? So let me just put some colors down on the page here, and let me change up my palette. Have something that's a little bit more easier to use. Okay, so if I was to shade something, so let's just say that I'm putting some color down here. Oh, Maddie, that's so cute. I love that. So what I like to do is I'll make a new layer, and then in this layer, what I'll do, and I can do like a more in-depth video at some point if this is something that you're really interested in for brushes and things like that. You were in the shadows? Oh my god. Maddie is the best name, it's true. So what I like to do is I'll set this layer here to multiply if I'm doing a darker layer. And then what I'll do is, if I go back to my color wheel here, I'm gonna choose something really light, almost like a pink, but not quite. And then what you can do is see how it makes this darker color here. And then what you can even do is go a little bit more on the gray tone, and you can really fill it in. And then from there, if you want to add a little bit of something to it, I'll add in a little bit of a Gaussian blur so that it blurs a little bit from one to the other. Do you see what I mean? So let's go in and actually work on one of my images here. So, I don't know. Let's work on Calcifer. So let's say, let me get a new layer here. Let's say that we wanted to color him red. And I'm gonna go to my favorite brushes, and I ended up just making that brush and just making it bigger so that I can, you know, work with it a lot better. So I'm just gonna fill him in just really roughly so I can show you guys what I mean. Okay, so here's our Calcifer, right? So then from here, what I would do, and let me just put his outline on top so that we can see what's going on here. And also, we're gonna change the opacity and make this a lot lighter in color. So I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to set it to multiply. And then I will go to a light pink color. And then from here, this is where I would go in. Okay, see, I'm not satisfied with that and I want it darker. So I'm just gonna keep going until I'm satisfied with the color that I have here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and toss in where I think, actually, I forgot the other step. The other thing you want to do is make this a clipping mask so that your image, your darks will not go outside of your main master mask, right? Jimbo, what are you thinking about this so far? So then from here, I'm gonna go in and just add in some darks where I see fit. My light source right now is generally somewhere up here, pointed down. So I am keeping that in mind while I'm doing this. So let's go back to this. And I love that you asked me this question. I love talking about process and how I do things. I generally just assume that most people want to just have like a little commentary and hang out on my YouTube, so I don't really do it like I'm gonna go through my process and break all this stuff down and stuff. But if you guys want this kind of, yes, so this is a clipping mask, literally. So like I said, it just makes it so that when you paint, it doesn't go outside the lines, because I am telling it here that this here is my master, and I don't want anything to go outside of this. So that's what you set this to. You set it to a clipping mask, and then it will not go outside of the parameters you've already decided in this image. And you can make as many clipping masks as you want. Cool, right? So there we go. I've done my darks. And then, like I said, I would just go in and throw in like, I'm on the wrong layer. Reset. And then I'll take my darks, and I will, you know, add a little bit of a blur to it. It depends on what kind of style I'm going for here. So, thanks. I'm happy you think it's genius. I didn't come up with it, but I mean, it's something I've used for many, many years in the animation industry while working. So, you know, there's a little bit of a shadow, and then, you know, let's toss in another one. Let's do another clipping mask, and this one we're gonna set it to soft light. And then we're gonna just go with another light color here, and we're gonna hard to see. Okay. You know what? We might have to go with a different color. How's something like that? Nope, can't see that at all. So yeah, you can also do this with soft light, but as you can see with reds, it's kind of hard to do this. So if I was to put this back to normal, you can see that's where I'm putting the colors. So I'm gonna just get rid of that and delete it. And then from here, like I said, so clipping mask, and then I would choose, so if I'm using this as my master color, you can also just pick a lighter color, and then what I would do is just go in wherever you want to throw in some highlights, you know. Don't worry, it's not gonna stay like this. And then from here, what I would do is we can change the opacity of the layer so it's not as distinct. And then also do a Gaussian blur, you know, and just refine it and make it a lot lighter for color. And just, you know, not make it as extreme. And there, Google knows. And there we go. So that's generally how, the general brush that I like to use always is a nice round calligraphy brush when I'm filling in all of my colors. And this is a really quick basic way on how I fill in the colors. So I hope you guys found that helpful. I would love it if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video or in the Twitchverse. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.